Blessings, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, and whatever time in the world that you're listening to this. Hello, I'm the one and only Mr. LP Stephen Sykes of Enliven Global Media. And I thank you all for joining us on this very, very, very special show. Today is just a lot going on in the world and stuff, but we want to take a little bit away. We always try to talk a lot of discussions about political, social commentary, health, wealth, education, and so forth. And today is a very special topic. Before I go into the topic, I want to say reach out to our wonderful guests. First and foremost, we have Miss K. Monte. How are you doing today? Oh, can't hear you. You muted. You muted.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. All
How
right.
y'all doing out there in computer land? I'm beautiful. I had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Thank you for inviting me back. I am so honored to be back.
Thank you so very much. I'm glad that your Thanksgiving went well, and I hope everybody's Thanksgiving went wonderfully well. Somebody got some food and things. And today we have a wonderful guest. I've been trying to get this woman on this video with me for God knows how long. This lady right here is very special in my heart, not just for the length of years that I've known her. Lost her for a few years and she made all this money, and now she come back and won't share it, but that's okay. She's a wonderful lady. It was just y'all think I had to overcome challenges. This lady got me beat tenfold, and I appreciate her for what she do as her duty, and I really love her, not just as my friend, but I love what she does as a mother. That's the most beautiful, one of the sexiest things I've ever seen for what she does for her family. Please welcome Miss Trishonda Chastain. How are you doing today?
Hi, Stephen. I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you so very much and things. So for everybody who don't know what y'all do and things, I always try to let people know the type of wonderful people that we have on the show. Miss K. Monte, tell us a little bit about you for a quick 30-second intro.
30-second intro. I am a multimedia personality, radio and TV. I've been in radio since I was 18 years old at Virginia State University. I work for Radio 1 in the city of Richmond, the city of Philadelphia, city of Baltimore, and also I've worked for KISS 101.7 in Delaware and WDEL 101.7 in Delaware, having the first Black female Black period all Black talk show. So on a conservative station. So radio, TV, that's my world. I host all types of events. I'm also a QMHP ANC, and I have my degree in behavioral science and mass communication. So that's me in a nutshell.
Amen. Thank you so very kindly. And Queen Chastain.
Hi, everybody. Again, I am Trishonda Chastain. I am a police officer with the city of Richmond, Virginia. I've been doing this now for almost 18 years, and I am the mother of 4 beautiful children who are all grown and 4 wonderful grandchildren who are the joy of my life. And I'm just honored to be on the show to share my story, because a lot of people have health concerns and health issues, and sometimes they have symptoms and don't really understand what it all means. So here I am sharing my story so that others will be aware.
Amen. So this holiday season is more than just gathering with loved ones. It's about having meaningful conversations that could save lives. We need to really start, even with the family members we don't like didn't get along, we need to have open, honest discussions. I know that there's a level, we talked about this last week about trust, and we don't share and all these other different things. We gather, say hi to our elderly ones and keep it moving. We need to sit down and have these meaningful conversations and start telling the truth. Tonight, we tackle critical health issues that's silently affecting so many in our communities. Is kidney disease, CKD, chronic kidney disease, and some may call it. With rates of kidney disease and the need for transplants rising, particularly among Black and Latino women, now is the time, if no other time, but now, to educate ourselves and break the silence and take proactive steps. So I know some say, well, this is holiday, be joyful, whatever. No, this is a great time. Can't ask for anything else, because if you got your family, people sitting down, it's winter and all the cold, it's just a lot that goes on. But we have Ms. Chastine was kind enough. I was able to reach out to her and she could share her story, her struggles, her triumphs, and the importance of awareness. And as she also tells her story, we have some facts and figures and everything else that we're going to go on. Just also for those who are wondering, Miss Korean author Anika Waston is out on vacation, and also her birthday vacation in the middle of the Atlantic and Pacific Ocean somewhere. So she's having fun. She could barely reach us, but I told her just enjoy herself. And author Tracy Hardy Scott Raw Silk will be joining us shortly if she can get out the making that money on the casino. So whatever she's at. So Miss Chastine, kidney disease is just rising, and it's a lot. Tell us. I'm not gonna even just lead it off. I want you to tell us your story about what was going on with you for the past year. What started it off? Some of your things that you went through, and then we'll continue. I'll ask you some more questions as we go through that part.
Well, Stephen, I'm gonna be honest with you. It all started with uncontrolled high blood pressure. I have had problems with my blood pressure for the better part of 10 years or so. And excuse me, I've been taking medicine for it, but apparently not enough. So because my blood pressure was high for so long, I started to exhibit symptoms that were consistent with chronic kidney disease, but I did not know it. Earlier this year, I had gone to my gynecologist. It's normal, it's typical. She ran certain tests and sent me on my way. There was no talk of my kidney levels being high, none of that. So I continued on with doing what I normally would do, which is to take that one pill that I would normally take for my blood pressure, which is amlodipine. And I don't know how many people out there are familiar with that, but I don't think it works very well by itself. So 6 months later, I started to have problems breathing. And prior to me having trouble breathing, I was exhibiting some other symptoms that I thought was consistent with the change of life, because I'm almost 48 years old and figured I was going through perimenopause. I was nauseated and I was tired, and I was getting swollen feet and ankles and legs and all kinds of stuff. And I said, well, maybe it's just a change of life. I've never been through it, so I don't know exactly what all it entails. And had gone to Panama, had a wonderful time, but I just could not catch my breath. I would have to stop as I was walking along the resort. I would have to stop constantly to get my breath. And I noticed the older folk were just whizzing by me. And I said, wait a minute, why is that 80-year-old guy like speed walking and I can barely move without having trouble breathing? So got back home and I said, well, I missed my doctor's appointments of a layover that, got delayed or whatever, coming back from Panama. So I called the clinic and I said, hey, I'm having trouble breathing. Is there any way I can get in there and you could take a look? And they're like, well, we're kind of busy and we won't be able to see you for another 3 or 4 days. But if you're having trouble breathing, go to the hospital. So I go to the ER, didn't realize that my blood pressure was 256 over 130. And they were looking at me like I was just about dead. And they were trying to figure out how in the world I could walk in there and be so calm, even though I'm having trouble breathing. I had not experienced any other symptoms that indicated that my blood pressure was extremely high. So they ran tests, did EKG, did x-rays, and the x-rays showed that I had fluid in my lungs. And that is why I was having trouble breathing. And that was the day that I found out that I had chronic kidney disease.
That's what, first off, God bless you. Thank you for your service as an officer, and God bless you for
Thank you.
All of that, considering what we've been through. God knows what, 7, 8 different police chiefs, but at the same time, dealing with this with your body, and that we owe you another free vacation to Panama so you can actually
And I plan to collect. I want a do-over.
Oh yeah, a do-over. Although this time you need to take me. So don't forget
I
about your brother.
got you.
But or at least a t-shirt, large, extra large, something like that.
I got
But
you.
okay. But I'm glad you took the time out to go to the hospital and all those different things, because what happens, and I know some people think I'm often saying this because I'm a guy, but what typically happens is women always going to be the last to go to the doctor, especially mothers, because you're going to take care of everybody else. And sometimes women, don't take care of themselves. I get it. I'm fine. And you build that code of strength and that you feel. And internally, sometimes you don't even think about it. Psychologically, for women, will feel guilty and act accordingly in that manner. Not accordingly, but just in their mind, as a cycle of thinking, I want to get this, and this. Maybe I get to myself, but then this, and this. And even as you are going to the doctor, you're still thinking about 20 different things instead of shutting stuff off and focusing and giving yourself that peace, that grace for that moment. Why, for you, you mentioned obviously your age, change of life, all these different things, but you were still in denial for a while. Why?
I was.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, when I had to be admitted into the hospital, I was in the ICU for several days, and I felt like the doctors were experimenting with different medications to try to bring my blood pressure down. They didn't really give anything a chance to work. They just kind of dumped stuff in me, and I just felt uncomfortable. So at some point, I did discharge myself from the hospital with instructions to use or to take certain medications. And I said, well, I'm going to take this opportunity to get myself together. I'm nothing but fruit and vegetables and water, and I'm going to turn this thing around. My kidneys are going to be better because I have the will to make it so. So I had began a regimen to try to turn my situation around, but my kidneys never improved. And I had been having such horrible symptoms for so long. I was miserable. So I finally broke down and I got the education to start dialysis. And now I take PD dialysis every night at home. And I feel a lot better once I wrap my head around the idea that this is what it is. And I found decent doctors that were able to explain certain things and make it make sense. And that made me feel comfortable enough to go ahead and get dialysis.
Okay. It's one of those things that obviously one of the things that we have to start doing, glad we paused here, is we have to start advocating for ourselves. We don't do that. And unfortunately, with your situation and just experience, you're basically walking in your mind and you're functioning, but you are basically a walking heart attack because you're overworking and the rest of your body is overworking. And the thing about it is that if you do one thing, anything that they could have done could go way left or in things. So you have to try little things at a time and give it its moment, 6 to 8, whatever hours, to see how it affects and monitors you. If this didn't work, then we got to go that. So, and keep in mind, the stuff, doctors are more aware now, thank the Lord, that everything that's out here, and you'll see in some labels, is not made for African Americans, not made for Latino, not made for Asians. Some are doing that. And so we have to try the base things of everything. Can't just automatically, we're going to just stump you with this, and this. Next thing you know, you blew up your kidney and your heart. So it has to take this course in that. It's very important. Also, like you said, you went out there. Of course, I know you get your records of what was done, what was taken, and all those different things. Make sure when you go in and out of these hospitals that you bring your records with you. A lot of people are not on Epic or whatever system that you're on. Make sure you have your username and password, and please, somebody else in your family, preferably two, have access to those medical records on Epic or what's the other one? Uh, Jesus, well, that we log into our medical system for your records, but
On
just
my
have
chart.
my chart. Thank you. And make sure that you have those things because it's always happened. And at least month, well, every 3 to 4 months, download your my chart information and your doctors and everything else is all right there. And
Excuse me.
bless you. It'll let you save it as a PDF as well and send that to somebody else in your couple people in your family. Heaven forbid you are not visible, you're not awake and aware. You may just forget something.
Right.
You need to have somebody else access so then that way you know what's going on and cover yourself at all different sides. So,
Absolutely.
and then they even now, plenty of places have your medical records. You can upload it, put it on a QR code, and wear a keychain. I advocate a lot of people. I want to tell you right now, take your Gmail account and your Google Drive, your Dropbox, whatever account that you want that holds your storage online. Have it linked to your PDF document and make a chain with the QR code. Make a necklace with the QR code. Put a little card in your wallet with that. So if you are not awake and they go through your ID and say, "Hey, medical record QR code," they scan it. Boom, it's right there. Those type of things are just little tricks that you can do. Just help save your life. And things.
Indeed.
And things. So, do you have history in your family regarding this kidney disease?
As a matter of fact, I'm the caregiver for my 86-year-old dad who also has kidney disease. He was diagnosed with high blood pressure at a young age as well, in his 30s. He ended up taking certain medications that caused him to get diabetes and other health issues. So now that he's older in age, obviously not a good candidate for a transplant. They say that he'll be on dialysis for the rest of his life. And I did not realize that, what happened to my dad would eventually be my fate. I think that we know certain things, but as you know, in our families, our families have gone through, what they experience health wise, but sometimes we don't always believe that it will happen to us. And
Mhm.
so, with that being said, I certainly did not expect at 47 years old that I would be having issues with my kidneys. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, not too many people my age or younger actually go through what I'm going through. It's usually older folks that have the issues, but there's always exceptions to the rule.
Mhm.
So I just urge people, once they have symptoms, don't just take those symptoms for granted. By all means, get to a doctor, get tested, let them draw your blood, let them see what your levels are. It's important, even, if you're still able to turn things around, do things to counterattack diseases or what have you, still get tested. Don't take it for granted. It's important to know sooner rather than later.
Amen. Amen. Now that you mentioned it again, and I should have stopped in the middle of this. First off, before I continue, Miss K Monte, I did not mean to jump over you. Do you have any questions and stuff like that? Any thoughts to this so far?
Well, God rest his soul. My dad, his birthday was just on December 1st. He, amongst other health ailments, had kidney disease as well, and they had given him 6 months to live. But he, as ornery as he was in a good way, he lived probably about 8 more months past the timeline they gave him, and he only had 13% of his kidneys that were actually functioning. He had to go on dialysis. So he really was not wanting to do it initially. I'm glad that that little light bulb came on in his head, and I know that your kidneys basically is the filter for your body. So that's your waste and everything. It has to go through that process, and so I'm very much aware of kidney disease. I'm a cancer survivor, and all of the medicine and the chemo, everything that I was on really was very harsh on my kidneys. And so I have to pay attention to that as well. Um, Not only that my father and my grandmother both suffered from diabetes and had kidney disease. So that's something that I make sure that I look into. But you are very right. Stay in tune with your body, because your body, I mean, and us as women, we will say, okay, it's something else, because we don't want to be sick. But stay in tune with your body, because I did that for years. And I feel like had I gone to the doctor more, or had I paid attention or really took heed of what the doctor was saying, I don't think some of the ramifications that I went through, I would have gone through. I can't say that I would have never gone through cancer, but a lot of things, the warning signs were flashing bright red. And I just did not. And then I moved to a different environment. That's another thing with women. So, of course, we're going to think, oh, I'm getting older. Um, I'm going through the change. My body is changing. We take it and we put it on that, but always go to the doctor just to be sure. So I'm so glad that you did that. Thank you for being a service to our city. I know it's not easy out here in these streets in Richmond. I'm from Southside,
Not at all.
but thank you for your service. Let me ask you, are you still working on a full-time basis every day? Are you actually in the office, or are you on the streets?
Well, first of all, I'm so glad you're here. Being a cancer survivor, that's hardcore too. And I'm so grateful for you and your voice. I actually took 5 months off from work to address my health concerns, and thank God for the PTO that I had saved up. These people out here burning up all their paid, time off. They better be careful. They never know what's going to come down the pike. But
That's right.
I did take 5 months to go through my training for dialysis and to start dialysis. And I'm currently back at work on light duty.
Okay.
Thank God for my job. I am so fortunate to have such a wonderful job, such wonderful people rooting for me, advocating for me. I've just went through the accommodations process, or I'm in the process of going through the accommodations process. So they're making a way for me to be there and continue to get paid and continue to have my insurance so that I'm covered throughout this process. And I can't say enough about the city of Richmond and how good they've treated me. So
God bless you.
yes,
I'm
indeed.
because you see what happens is a lot of people don't understand they got to keep going, because even if they have insurance, they may not work, and then the job wants to cut them, and then now you're in more. But thank God that there is, for all the flack that officers get over the years, at least there's the support in that manner, and people donating time off, all those different things is important. One of the things I want to speak about that I did not mean to gloss over, and anybody I know in my mind, I'm hearing several doctors fussing at me, and nurses, because in the departments, because we talked about this earlier. Also, I want to give a shout out to Miss Joetta Rose, lovely lady, 69 years old, family member. I've been adopted in the family for, like, God knows, 30 years, and put up with me. She 2 days ago on Tuesday, she had her kidney removed, one of her kidneys removed from kidney cancer. She's a survivor of breast cancer about 13, 15 years ago. And then now it just totally got, metastasized, I think is the correct word, throughout her kidney. And it was so bad that they had to bring in another specialist and things, and it took a long operation. She's here with us still, home resting, and that great that she's home with that. But I want to give a shout out to Miss Joy Rose. I know she's mad at me for mentioning her name and stuff like that, put her business out there, as the older people say, but I don't care. I'm gonna give the play. I'm gonna give my praise to her. But I want to talk about the physical symptoms, the review, so that people know what's going on. First, obviously, fatigue. First and foremost, fatigue and low energy. And this is, I get it. We work 9 to 5s, 80-hour weeks, and live for everything, and still try to come home and stuff like that. But just be careful. Feeling unusually tired, weak due to buildup of toxins and waste products in the body. And we're going to be real. One of our hallmarks is we tell the truth. Start paying attention to your urine. Okay, I'm just going to keep it real. So start paying attention to your urine and how you're doing some things and stuff like that, because that affects what you're doing. Also, and then I'm going to keep it real again, and this may be some harsh. Pay attention to who you are having sexual relations with and what they're eating before you start interchanging your bodies.
Right.
Because what you are taking in can affect your kidneys as well, not just the immediate areas. So I'm just saying, it's a lot. I know some people are sitting there saying, oh, this, that, and the other, but no. When you are doing oral things, that is also, again, it filters through your body. So whatever you're taking in, it goes through. That's best. That's for both men and women. Okay. It's not just kidney, but H. pylori, acid, other additional toxins, all those different type of things can affect what's going on with you.
Can I ask, Miss Christine, were you very dehydrated, even though you were short of breath? How was your hydration?
I consider myself to be one of the healthiest people. When it came to eating and drinking, I drank water all the time. I, didn't eat pork or beef. I try to keep my diet fairly clean. Of course, I would cheat like everybody else every once in a while.
Yeah.
But, for the most part, I considered myself to be a conscious eater.
Okay.
And I really did not believe that this could have happened to me, because I'm not a big soda drinker. Now I did engage in cigar smoking and, occasional alcoholic beverage,
Okay.
but not to excess. And I said, how in the world did this happen to me? So it really, there's no rhyme or reason.
I think that's like people who don't smoke cigarettes and they get lung cancer. So it's kind of like,
absolutely.
yeah.
I know people that have smoked cigars since 15 and are the picture of health. I engage in certain behavior, and lo and behold, here I am. But again, it also goes back to your family history. Right. What are you more susceptible to?
Exactly. The next one, edema. Edema is pronounced edema. Edema, excuse me.
Yes, swelling. It's edema.
Right. Swelling of your feet, ankles, hands, your face caused by fluid retention, reduced kidneys and functions and stuff. Also pay attention to your kidneys after surgery or doing surgery. I had a lot of surgery with my prostate and stomach, but my kidneys went flat when I developed the blood clot in my bladder. My kidneys couldn't process, and it was stuck. That was causing problems in the blockage, and they had to go back in and clean out the blockage that goes from your kidneys into your bladder. And one little misstep, that's out. So lights out for good. So you have to be very careful. Change in, I think we talked about this a minute, but I want to go into details about changes in your urination patterns. Increase and decrease frequency of urinating. This is something that said, oh, I'm just going to drink some more cranberry juice and ginger ale. No, this is more serious than that. Foamy or bubbly urine, indicating the protein in the urine. Okay, you're going to pay attention to that. Also, for women, if you are, I'm going to go over this for both men and women. For women, pay attention to, let's just real, sometimes when you get older, there may be seepage or whatever, and you have extra pads. Pay attention to your pads. Don't just throw them away or whatever. I'm not sitting there saying play Inspector Gadget with your underwear, but pay attention to your pads and your underwear and your slides, because that's could also affect, see what's going on, especially if you see it discoloring your clothing, you have a problem. Guys, if you pay attention to your urine, pay attention to the hair follicles and everything else around the area and so forth, because the protein. Make sure when you are wiping that you can see what's going on. If it's blood, and also pay attention to blood. It could come out very fast, things, or slow. Be careful of that. And difficulty and pain while you're urinating. If it's pushing in your back kidneys and things, and you're not, and people say it's just back pain, but it's really your kidneys and things like that. Pay attention. Fluid pills. Sometimes the answer say, "Oh, I just need to take fluid pills," and you try to self-diagnose before you start doing all these things and look into holistic stuff. See what's going on first. You have some side pains, and also right beneath your ribs, in the back or in the back or even the front towards your intestines. Pay attention to that. Also, itchy. Ms. K. Monte talked about the drive of the itchy skin. Buildup of waste product, which is a buildup of your waste products in your body, what have you, the dryness, also the breaking of your nails for both men and women. If the nails break, this stuff. Ms. Chastain, tell us a little bit, how did it affect you in terms of bodily functions? You mentioned a little bit before, but how you were able to move, like what is your movement like now physically? I know that you're protecting yourself, and also what's it like for certain things that you have to do as a woman now that you have to pay more attention to?
Well, going back to the urine.
No, I'm sorry, I don't mean to.
No, not at all. Going back to the urine, because this blew my mind. I actually had clear, my urine was clear. It was clear, it was white. And I said, oh, I must be drinking water. I'm doing good. My doctor said, well, that's a sign that your toxins are not coming out because urine is supposed to be yellow.
Yellow.
It's not supposed to be clear. So you're not removing the toxins from your body. So people out there, when you think, oh, I've been drinking a lot of water, I'm overhydrated, that's why my urine is so clear. No, your body is not removing toxins. That is why your urine is clear, and it's not supposed to be. I had eczema really bad, and I was trying to figure out why. Again, thinking it's the change of life. My skin is just doing what it wants to do. Had a rash on the back of my neck, started getting them in my arms, my legs, and had no idea, again, it's chronic kidney disease. I also had the edema, the swelling of the feet. It looked like I had elephant's feet. And I have pretty good feet. I have beautiful feet, beautiful legs. And I tell you, this thing it destroyed my body until I got a grasp of what was happening to me. And I took control and got treatment for it.
What was going on with your hair?
My hair has always been nice. My hair and my nails stayed fine.
Well, I'm alluding to, for some people, there's a little bit extra protein. It becomes a little oily. Sometimes they start loosening the hair. Some people have some hair follicles, hair pieces falling off. It's just a lot. It can affect you in a lot of different ways. Yellowing of your eyes is another thing. Also, I want people, first off, I don't want to be rude. We have the Queen, Raw Silk, has joined us in a conversation. How are you doing today, ma'am?
Hi.
Good evening, everybody. Sorry to be popping in late. It's those end of the year finances.
It's okay. It's all right.
Okay, welcome.
And she sent me a text talking about F you, I'm out here gambling. And if I finish on the slots early, she'll hit me up. So that's what it is. But that's okay. Raw Silk, could you tell us that we're talking about kidney disease and things of that nature? Could you give us a quick thought on a moment about how this has affected you and your family regarding kidney diseases? Raw Silk, did you hear me, Queen? Sorry.
So I didn't hear the last part, what you said.
I said that what has how did kidney disease affect you and your family in recent years or in the past, and how you feel regarding kidney disease overall?
I think she's having intermittent problems with driving.
Yes, that's not a problem. We'll catch up. We'll catch up with you with things. But
you had eczema, and I know that your skin, when you have kidney disease, your skin itches anyway. So you having the eczema wouldn't have been a key component for you to think something was wrong because you had eczema. So that was like a
Can you
double.
guys hear me now?
Yeah. Okay, Malcolm. Yeah, I can hear you now. So
Okay, I'm so sorry. So what I was saying is that it affects greatly in my family because my son's father's side of the family suffers from kidney disease. The males on that side of the family all seem to have died young. My son's paternal grandfather, his uncle, his uncle's uncle, they all died from kidney failure. And so it was always, it's manifested itself like around 25 to 26 years old, in the men in that side of the family. And so the panic button was on because naturally I have a son, and my son's father, he started showing signs of it. Thank God they caught his issues, early, and thank God it bypassed my son. But it's something like the Queen was saying to pay attention to some of the things that I've suffered a lot with bladder infections myself. And so, I pay attention to like everything with my body. Like, I remember a girlfriend of mine's telling me, "Oh my God, my back has hurt for like the last week. I think my sciatic nerve." And I was like, that sounds more like your kidneys. You may want to go, to a urologist and have it checked out. And lo and behold, that's what it was. I've had kidney stones before, and giving a birth to a grapefruit is no fun. So I always tell people, and like the Queen was saying, I was one of those people that I drink water faithfully. I drink cranberry juice faithfully. I take cranberry stuff. All of the things that they tell us that is supposed to be good to, keep your kidneys healthy and strong. But like she said, you really have to pay attention to things that's going on in your body because your body is trying to tell you something. If like she said, if you break out in a rash or, something abnormal is, happening or whatever. I mean, for me, just even recently, something totally off the cuff. I've never had an earache in my life, and I started having one and went to the doctor and found out I have huge wax buildup in my ear. So just as you age, especially, I guess my point is to be in tune with your body and notice just little minor changes in your body because it could be something, very, very serious.
amen. Amen. I want to also address some of the systemic symptoms that we may or may miss. So one of them is high blood pressure. Hypertension is both a cause and also a symptom of kidney disease. Loss of appetite and nausea, feeling nauseous and experiencing loss of, those things and not getting the toxic release.
I'm hearing a double. I'm hearing you double.
So if you have it playing through the radio, if you don't have it playing through the Bluetooth,
I keep putting you on mute and it keep coming off. I keep
I
putting it
don't
on
know.
mute and it keeps popping back off.
Oh, let me try. Let me try. I strange. Okay, we'll try to hold on. I'll figure it out. I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, so sorry about that. Also, metallic taste in your mouth, similar to what you were going through. Thing. Oh my gosh, that is a really big thing. It's what they call urema. Urema, uremia, because it's a buildup of blood taste in your mouth, sort of like ammonia-like taste and smell. Be careful how that is, and also, of course, we talked about shortness of breath. The first thing that you was experiencing. Of course, we can talk about the muscle cramps, the darkening of your skin, and pale frequency infections and things like that. Those are very important, and like we've been talking about it, just be careful. And if some people take pills or pain pills every day, be careful because non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, which is here are NSAIDs, and things, don't be looking to take that every day. Or if you have to take something, please refer to your doctor first, because those things are very big in things, and you have to make sure you get tests. One of the tests that they also do, just for people who may know, what they call is a GFR, a glomerular new teeth, hard to get words. Glomerular filtration rate and albumin levels. Those are the type of tests and things that they push out there that we're trying to get going. So those are some very big. Also, to pay attention is that 37 million Americans, with about 15% of the population, have kidney disease. And many they get misdiagnosed or not diagnosed until they're late. Over 80% is becomes late. They could have lived a longer life, but they caught it late. So the good thing is you was able to catch it early. Also with diabetes, is also African Americans are 4 times as high likely to develop kidney failure. White Americans. Pay attention to your environment and your where you live where you live and things. Especially if you're in factories and if you're in an area where they got more trees with heavy pollen in your area versus other trees or less trees. You want trees in your area, but be careful of the type of trees that you're planting or the city and county where you're at. If they're planting additional trees, what they're doing. You may be looking to beautify the neighborhood, but it can also cause long-term systemic issues as well. And right now and currently of that 15%, 36% are Black African Americans, 15% are Latino, Hispanics, Asian, and then whites at 13%. So it's just something right there. Ms. Chastain, one of the things I want to ask you is, we talk about the responses and things of that nature of family, and it was good that you have that support. What are some of the mental challenges? You wake up, go to sleep, when you have those personal moments to yourself, what are those things that are popping in your head, and what are you saying against it, or what are some of the type of challenges that you're working through?
I had to work through the fatigue. That was a big thing for me because I'm usually a go kind of person, taking care of everybody. Like I said, I'm the caregiver of my father, my 86-year-old father. So it really hurt me to have to go through this because it took away my energy. And I found myself for those 5 months that I was out of work, just laying around, not doing much of anything, not having the energy, the strength to do much of anything. And that is it's not me. People call me sunshine because I'm just a ray of sunshine. I'm always energetic. I'm always, the life of the party and all that good stuff. And here I am in my home, did not want to go out, did not want to engage with anyone, just wanted to sleep and rest and try to heal. And it's definitely been a turbulent 5 months, to say the least. A lot of emotion involved, not, going from the denial to the anger to the disappointment to it. I mean, just a myriad of emotions. So after a while, once you do finally wrap your head around the idea that this is what it is, and not to beat yourself up because there's probably nothing I could have done differently, and the course is the course. So I just do the best I can now. That's all I have control over, is the now.
I can understand. We got all 3 of us are fighting with not just of age, but that energy. The car accident, the bladder, the prostate, intestines, my kidney, all these surgeries I've had to have, and then with my gums in my mouth, everything, and then in the feet. The energy, I think I can relate to, and especially us Northerners that's used to running and doing everything else we can, and then now in our current activities mirror how we grew up, and not having just all of a sudden go. Now it's just like it's the pain, and I'm fighting. For me, it's the fighting of I want to get up, things are going, but I can't. And that's the mental challenge that I have to now operate differently as someone who's 80 and 90 years old versus, and we're in our late 40s. Go ahead, it. So
I have a question. I know that we speak about the fatigue and things of that nature. How about mental confusion? How about the mental state? Did you find
yeah.
yourself with being confused more, or just having less patience?
No,
Really?
that's one thing that I really didn't have a problem with, because I know that if toxins do build up in your system for so long and to a large amount, it can affect your brain, your thought process. And no, fortunately, that did not happen.
Okay.
So I guess I'm fortunate in the sense that I wasn't fully affected, but with 4% kidney function, I was affected enough.
So, are you on the transplant plant list?
I am. I
Okay.
am. It is a process. I just
Mhm.
went to a living donor class to learn more about what that means, because I do have 4 children, and I'm hoping that one of them will be a match for me so that I can proceed and get a healthy kidney and, you know, go move on with my life. It's just, process. It takes time. So I'm gonna be patient, but I'm still hopeful that I will have a new kidney soon.
So your children, they've already said, "Mom, if we're a match, it's yours." They've
Well,
already
we're still
committed.
discussing that.
We're still discussing that.
I think
Okay.
that once they understand that it's not that bad to give their kidney to their mom, we
Right.
might be able to reach an understanding.
So I do know this, and I remember this, but I wanted to go back to make sure I was correct on this. My dad, my father is West Indian, and so
Okay.
fruit was a big part of his diet, and so it along with pork, but we're gonna leave that one alone.
Uh,
Um, but fruit was a part of his diet. And so, do you eat a lot of fruit? Because I know that the berries, like blueberries and raspberries and cherries and strawberries, those are kidney friendly foods. So, do you
yes, they
find
are.
more fruit?
Yep.
Okay.
And I love fruit. I
Okay.
absolutely love fruit. I love vegetables. I have more of a taste for fruits and vegetables than I do for meat and
Okay.
pasta and all the other stuff that we love so dearly. So I've never had an issue with that at all.
Mm.
Okay. That's great. That's great.
Mhm.
How about your sleeping habits? Have your sleeping habits changed?
Well, yes. Prior to me getting on dialysis, I could not sleep a full night without popping up and down to use the restroom. Since I've been on dialysis, I can sleep throughout the night and perfect sleep. And that
Okay.
has not happened in a very long time.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, that's
Mhm.
good. So, did they tell you like where you stand on the list, even though you're just actually starting your classes? But are you far down the list?
Well, I'm in the beginning stages. A lot of people feel hopeful just because I'm young and my profession. And so they feel like they will probably consider me above other folks. And I don't take away from people who have been waiting for years, because it can be a long and tedious process,
Mhm.
especially if you're relying on a deceased donor.
Right.
But as I stated earlier, I'm hopeful that I will find a living donor
Hmm.
that would sacrifice a kidney for my sake,
Are
because
you with
like I said, I
VCU?
want to get back to life. I want to get back to living and being the old me, not just the new me.
Are you going through VCU Health? Is that
Yes, I'm going through VCU Health, the Hume Lee Foundation,
okay?
and I'm also on a list for UVA as well.
Okay.
And my doctors have advised me that being on the list for more than one hospital is advantageous.
I used
Very
So
much
to
that's what I'm.
scrap for
Yes.
one of the kidney doctors down at VCU Health. I'm
down
trying
in
to think.
Baptist and the Baptist one, also Duke, Charlotte, Centeras up in
Mm-hmm.
Northern Virginia. There's a few other things. Just to add to this, with smokers, your recovery time and post kidney transplant is a lot longer, and so please be careful of that. As of last year in 2023, over 90,000 Americans are waiting for a kidney transplant. Black Americans represent 33% of that, despite being 13% of the population. Lack of donor, underrepresentation, information, so much more. I'm also going to play just for a moment. We got to try something a little bit different. I have a small little commercial break from a sponsor.
Shoe Crazy Wine presents a new selection of infused, ready-to-drink cocktails. Are you prepared to experience tranquility? Sample the Zen Blackberry, Peach Whiskey Sour, Rose Gold Pink Lemonade, or Savage Pirate Rum Punch. Each cocktail is crafted to delight the senses and promote relaxation. Take a moment to unwind, relax, and enjoy. Each drink is designed for your moments of zen, restful sleep, and stress-free leisure. Visit shoecrazywine.com to place your order. Local RVA delivery is available directly to your door.
All right. Wow. And I have a bottle of the show is green, and probably not because of green screen, but I got.
We can't.
That part.
The alcohol.
That part.
No, it's not. It's not. That's the thing. This is not alcohol. That alcohol is alcohol free.
Alcohol free. Okay.
Okay.
Well, it sure sounded like it was something tasty, like an alcoholic beverage. The way she was describing it.
Well, it is. We have a lot of different flavors and things. So go to Crazy Wine. I just realized I said green screen, green and drink. Maybe not, but this is the Wicked Dysfunction Wicked Margarita, not market.
Oh Lord! Okay.
It's on the market, but Wicked Margarita.
Well, kudos to you.
And then this is 200 mgs of this one is very good and flavorful. So just pushing. I can't get my words out today. Pushing this out and things for Shoe Crazy Wine. And we have a whole bunch of other different things. So just go to shoecrazywine.com. Sorry, green against green, maybe not the best, but just wanted to show for the sake of information. So sorry about that. Thanks.
We were just playing with you. I'm proud that you got a sponsorship. You got a sponsor.
Oh yeah, we try a long-standing relationship and things like that. We're just trying to do what we can. It's not enough to go overseas in London and travel and all that type of stuff, but we're gonna go. One of the things I want to talk about is also which you alluded to, Mel, the psychological stress and high with this is a mental aspect. And managing your stress. Okay. One of the first things that we have to do, and especially in today's climate, is we have to manage stress. It could affect all this variety of different medical issues that we have, and we need to be mindful of it. Mindfulness, meditation, yoga, deep breathing, exercises, and other, good physical activities can help us. Psychological effects. I cannot think of the doggone word now, but the serotonins and other things, endorphins in your head that help improve relaxation, enjoyment, and it's easier. And as you do it, it makes it easier and less likely that you have to be on blood pressure medications, and the strength and everything else are reduced. The goal is always to reduce pills if all possible. And we get it. We take vitamins, we take the gummy bears, we do a whole bunch of different things. But the more you can do to lower your stress, the better. We also need to have coping mechanisms and accountability partners. That's going to be a very important thing that we must have. Coping, we all try to do and say, okay, leave it alone, give it to God, and those other type of things, obviously. But we need to have good healthy coping mechanisms. Not smoking, but and those other different things. It may be more reading, more activity, spending time with other people. Start having other things in life, and it doesn't always have to be something that costs money, but look to find other low cost, free, and other things, or maybe just spending time to yourself. Positive coping mechanisms that will help you move through. And also keep up with your reading and join groups, join advocacy groups, be an advocate. The more the merrier. If you are in an area, jump with your politicians about kidney disease and what's being done. There's several political action groups, PACs that are advocating for this. National Institute of Health, Duke Hospital, Baptist, UVA you mentioned, and Johns Hopkins have all types of things, especially with kidney cancer, just various other diseases that's out there affecting the kidneys. Just be careful and learn and get more information. Some things may apply to you, some may not. And please just don't dismiss it and say, I'm going to be tough, because that's going to be very, very difficult for you. One of the groups out there is National Kidney Foundation of Virginia, an organization they offer educational programs, support groups. That's the word I was looking for earlier. Please excuse me. Support groups and other types of groups that will help you be able to, obviously early detection, education and support, and especially with other family members that you are dealing with, supporting, just like you, Ms. Chastain. Those things are very important. So please make sure that we are getting that type of information out for everybody, because that's going to be very key. Okay, Monte, you had another question? I don't want to.
Well, I guess for me, I am just in awe of knowing that she still has a great spirit about herself right now, and she's staying very positive. I want to know what is actually igniting your positivity, because right now you could be down in the dumps and giving up on life right now, but what is keeping your that light burning in you?
I tell you, I'm a spiritual person. So I know that my journey is my journey, and whatever I'm going through, I'm meant to get through. Number one. Number two, I have a great support system. A wonderful man in my life who has been by my side. I mean, literally slept in the hospital room with me when I was in the ICU. And he's been very supportive. That helps a lot. My children are very helpful with my dad. So that eliminated a lot of my stress and having to care for him, because they were there to pick up the slack when I didn't have the energy and I couldn't do it. And, I'm blessed. I'm
Okay.
blessed. Even through kidney disease, I'm still blessed. And I'm hopeful, because life is not done. And my doctors, they said the same thing. They said, "Oh, you're not done. Your life's not over. We're gonna make sure you get back to, who you were before." And they have it. They said, "You have such a wonderful disposition. Like, how are you so?" Because I have great support and I am favored through this whole process. So I just encourage people, if you're going through it, just believe that, it won't last forever. It's going to come to an end. It's definitely going to work out in your favor. There are people who are getting new kidneys every day. And I was fortunate to meet some of them in that class that I took about a week or two ago, the living donor class. They told their stories, and a lot of them had kidneys within the year. So it's possible. Anything's possible, and you never know where your blessing is going to come from. So stay hopeful.
Amen.
Please stay.
Amen.
I believe that positivity is it takes that stress off. As far as keeping your mind flowing, because once you get stuck, and I can definitely attest to this, because I got stuck. I didn't know, I didn't know if I was coming or going, and luckily, God saw fit for me to be able to get out of that darkness. But
Amen.
yeah,
I love it.
Amen.
yeah.
Amen. Thank the Lord you've been getting all the support that you need. But
Yeah.
let's talk about something that some people may be going through. And to be real, because we want to be real that things are different for everybody.
Mhm.
Have you faced any barriers in terms of accessing care, such as financial or healthcare system challenges through this?
I
Mm-hmm.
haven't. Honestly, when I say that I am favored, I honestly believe that initially, when I was in the hospital and the ICU for those several days, I didn't feel like I was getting the kind of care or treatment that I should have been getting. I didn't feel like my voice was being heard. The doctors pretty much, talked over me. They did not speak with me, and we could not come to a conclusion as to what was right for me. So I took matters into my own hands and I left. And I found a excellent doctor, a primary care physician, and she's a Black doctor.
Give me
And
the
I'm
name.
fortunate enough to have found someone that I trust. I trust her because she took the time to explain how medication works, and
Can you
it
give us
made
a
me
name?
comfortable enough to take it.
Can we get a name of that doctor? We celebrate doctors, and especially the fact that there are very limited Black doctors out there. We need names.
Dr. Tiffany Daniels
Okay.
All right.
with Bon Secours.
Okay.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen.
Hmm.
Okay.
Excellent,
Okay.
excellent. And my PD nurses,
Okay.
they've been excellent as well at the dialysis center, the Vita Dialysis, James River. They have been phenomenal, very kind, very patient, very helpful, and I couldn't have gotten trained by a better crew.
Amen. Amen. What is one thing that you wish you knew earlier about all of this that you feel would have made a difference?
I wish that I had Dr. Tiffany Daniels 10 years ago to explain how medication works, because then I wouldn't have been so afraid to take more than one type of medication for my blood pressure. And maybe if I had taken the different types of medication initially, I might not be going through kidney disease today. So definitely find doctors who you can trust, who will take the time to explain what it is that you need to do to get better, to be better, to do better.
Amen. Silk, let's get you in this thing, and thank you for joining and having patience with us, Silk. Uh, what questions you have, man?
No, I am
You are what? Are you
She went
you're
out.
good?
can't. Can you hear?
Yeah, we can hear you. It sounds like you're playing it through a Bluetooth versus the phone.
No, I said I'm just listening and being educated and just admiring um definitely her positivity. So this is a night to stay silent and listen and learn. And so
Amen.
I'm humbled to be able to do so.
Miss Chastain, with you and I, and Silk also can relate. We were from the Northeast and the New York, New Jersey area, and things like that. And but everybody deals with uh, issues within families. And we've talked about this a little bit last week. We don't deal with certain things, and we should not be forced to deal with certain things. It is what it is. But in today's age, that like we've talked about, the advocating for ourselves and learning our family history.
Mm.
How are you? And your family is already aware, and so you had a little bit of predisposition of kidney disease and things. But when it first happened for your father and other family members, you had to all of you had to sit down and have a discussion. How can families use the holiday season? And I want to make sure I express this right. How can families utilize the holiday season to discuss health issues such as kidney disease or anything from your experience? Tell us your experience, and then suggestions for others.
Well, I was slow initially in letting everybody know what I was going through. I'm not gonna lie, and Stephen, he chewed my head off for it. But I at first, like I said, I needed time to wrap my head around the idea that I was sick. And so I slowly told my family, eventually told friends and other folks. But the conversation is so simple to have. It really is, as long as families are communicating, and that's number one. You got to come together, and it can't just be at funerals. You got to come together. You got to have those dinners as a family, those celebrations as family, and you need to talk about your health. We always want to keep things hushed, want to keep things mum. What happens in this house stays in this house. That's how we grew up.
Mhm.
But it's time to get over that, especially as a Black community. We have to have these discussions. It's important that our children, our children's children know what the history is in our family so they can combat it and do differently what we've done. I had a lot of issues trying to get information from my dad's side of the family because they're not as cohesive as my mother's side of the family. So I'm still working on that. But as far as I can tell, at least two of us has kidney issues. So we're gonna work with that and hopefully be better for the next generation.
One too many. And things
It is. It
things
is.
like that.
Mhm.
I'm not. I'm sorry, but not sorry for chewing your head off. You're a root in my heart and in my life, and you just don't let those. You don't let roots die. That's just the bottom line, because roots can always build another flower, and then understand that it'll keep you going and stuff. So
I
that's always
understand.
important. Um, what are some of the misconceptions, lies that you've heard, or And I'm laughing because the stuff that you hear are already with conspiracy theories, this, that, and the other, whatever. You targeted before your kidneys. I don't know, but what are some of the lies or misconceptions that you've heard regarding all of this?
Well, I really haven't experienced too many misconceptions. I think most of the misconceptions were in my head and in my mind. I conjured up the idea that I could not trust anything in the medical profession. I could not trust the medication itself. I just built up a wall when it came to uh, anything surrounding the medical profession. I just felt like everybody was a scammer. They did not have my best interest at heart, especially me as a Black female. And so we have to find a way to get our help and our support from people who understand us as individuals, because we are different. We're made differently. And I had doctors who legitimately would try to give me medication, but then say, well, your demographic usually doesn't, it doesn't, this medication won't work well for you. But why are you trying to give it to me if you know that as a Black female, it might not work for me? And that just fuels my mistrust of the medical profession, because it's certain things that as a doctor or a nurse, but you either don't say, you don't think I care to know, and it's kind of insulting. So that's one thing I've had to overcome, was I had to find trust in the medical profession and in the people who were sent to treat me. Because if I had not found someone that I could trust, I probably still would be suffering, without going through dialysis and all that other stuff. So I think that's the biggest misconception that I've had to overcome.
Hmm. Kimante?
Say that again.
No, I was asking you your thoughts regarding that.
Well, I do believe that she is correct in regards to looking on Google and being in the midst of people who they have that MD behind their names, who are not really being doctors. They work for the pharmaceutical companies. They don't care about you. They care about their pocket. So I'm gonna just go ahead and put that out there.
That part.
To that part right there, because I've dealt with it.
Mhm.
Giving you medicine and they know it's not going to work, or giving you medicine and they know that it's going to interfere with another medicine that you're taking. So you have to be proactive. I'm a big person on doing my research, but when you're doing your research, uh, you have to. It's like a out of body experience. You can't look at it and become claustrophobic and say, "Oh, well, I have that, and I have that, and I have this." You have to kind of just piece through it and channel in what you're actually feeling opposed to what you're reading. And when you find a good doctor, keep that doctor, and ask your doctor questions. Like I had a doctor at one point that they thought that because I was going to the hospital so much because I wanted attention.
Oh my
It
gosh.
wasn't and sent the psychiatrist in the room. It can become so overwhelming, especially when you have to advocate for yourself and you don't have that support system. So you are lucky to have a support system. And so I had to keep advocating for myself until I got a great doctor, and they realized what the problem was, which was another surgery. But with that surgery, it kind of helped me about 45-50% of the way of where I was. And it took me off a lot of medication. And so, yeah, you have to advocate for yourself, but you have to have a clear mind, and you can't get in your feelings. You can't get upset and mad, because when you're flustered and frazzled, you can't see straight, and then you lose focus. So definitely advocate for yourself, find you a good doctor, and always get a second opinion. Always get
Amen. What I have on the screen, I'm going to show everybody a couple of things. This is the American Association of Kidney Patients, AAKP. Is a very good website. There's several organizations out there, but I wanted to highlight two of them. Just not to overdo it, but they're a very good program that is to get. You can join today and be a membership, donate, what have you. They also is one of the leading information groups that for those who are dealing with COVID, and I know there's various different views regarding the vaccines and everything else, but the AAKP was working specifically to understand, to get the information and run tests to see how it's affecting those with kidney disease and various, because everybody's body is different. So we do running trials, but outside of that, they have a lot of great information on engagement, advocacy. When they go out there, speak to different things, they have various walks, global summits, cystinosis, scholarship programs for those young who are still trying to get through and go to school and affect everybody, individuals. So they have a variety of different things, also dealing with pediatric and rare disease initiatives that's not being talked about. So they have a variety of good things, and also great campaigns and weekly information on press releases, media kits, so you can see all their information. It's a very great company, organization, I should say, that you should join to look into. This one also is, I'm sorry, I should add it at the top. Black National Kidney Foundation, the main organization. I think this was the oldest and the main one, but they have a section called Black Kidney Health Matters. It was transformed. I watched this. I read through, and they had some other educational videos, and I read through it a few years ago. I went through it again when I had some surgeries last year and this year, and keeping up with what's going on out there. They keep up with the larger part of the Black health crisis, including obviously prostate disease, breast cancer, heart health, heart disease, but this is rising. And you know it's bad when it's rising to the charts to try to take over heart disease, and especially in the Black communities. But they have a variety of different information, and it's literally 1 out of 3. Let me tell you again, I'm going to say this again. 1 out of 3 Black people that you see, and almost 1 out of 4 of Latin Americans have kidney disease. On this phone call right now, we're talking 2-3 of us right now in this room. So if not all 4. So Silk, I don't know. I'm sorry to put you out there like that if you are, but it's just what we have to do. You got to know your numbers, know your risk. Also, find out, and it may seem tedious to some, but find out what's being done in your area in terms of construction and plants and other things. Because as they building these stadiums and new buildings and new schools, pay attention to what they're building in the landscape and what type of flowers and stuff that's going on, because that could affect your children in the long run, especially those who are now raising their, if you are raising your grandchildren and they staying with you, or some people's kids register with their grandparents and they go to school in the grandparents neighborhoods, or they come to your grandparents home after school, those type of things. Understand what's going on and things. Learn how you know it can also lead to some other things. As they talk about gateway drugs, these are gateways issues that leads to diabetes, obesity, injuries, COVID, whole bunch of different things, a whole lot of stuff. Miss Chastain, any other words? Because you are also now, like you said, you are seeking assistance for it. I want to show this link here, and I'll leave it up for a moment. Nobody is online have made any comments yet, but I think people are just watching it and educating themselves, and I appreciate it. But if you want to reach Miss Trishonda Chastain, please email her. CHEW. I'm reading this for those who are just listening. But CHEWONHERSHEY at yahoo.com. Let me try this again. CHEWONHERSHEY at yahoo.com. Please, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you want to reach out how to care with your family, how to speak to other members, younger people. Ms. Chastain has really been a powerful advocate in recent months to get some information and also referral to other locations as well. Also, just email us at enlivengm@gmail.com. We also will get some things out there for you. It's just very important. I'm not going to run this show too long and things. I thank everybody. But before we go, I want to let everybody get their final thoughts regarding this. Silk, I know you hanging in there. Do you mind sharing your final thoughts regarding this?
I definitely would like to thank her for sharing her story, her testimony, and educating us. Is always good to know, because it's so rare that African Americans talk about health and health issues and health challenges. We normally keep these things to ourselves, not wanting anybody in our business or anybody feeling sorry for us. And I'm 100% confident that she blessed somebody tonight, in some way. And so I just want to say thank you for that. I remember, and Stephen, with my sister's ex fiance, that he
Mm,
had kidney disease. And so I
mhm,
remember just something people don't understand, the stuff that goes into that. Like, even for us to just go on vacation, I remember us taking a cruise, and we had to have Baxter had to ship all of his stuff to the cruise ship, and be stored and everything. And the crazy thing is, he left one little piece off of his machine, his portable machine, and they had to transport him off of the ship onto one of the islands, and they ended up missing 3 days from the vacation because his body had started going into shock. And so I say that again, that she blessed people, because we don't take our health seriously, and especially Black women. We put everybody before us. We take care of everybody, before us. You've yelled at me, Stephen, for getting out of my sick bed to go drive somebody somewhere. I'm sure I could say to both of these queens, you have gotten that phone call that says, I know you're not feeling well, or I know you're a little under the weather, but, and we'll
Mhm.
press on for everybody else, putting ourselves secondary. So again, I thank you. I hope somebody learned something, okay, this evening. I definitely hope that this, will be replayed over and over again, because even just like the other queen was talking about, just a brief testimony for me, when she talks about medication, you remember, Stephen, when I called you Mr. LP livid, because they gave my mother this blood pressure medicine, and I
Oh
don't
yeah.
play with my mom about anything, right? And when I picked up the medicine, on the medicine bottle, it says not recommended for African Americans.
We were
And
Mm.
I
talking
was
about
like, and I called back and I was like, then why in the total hell would you give this to my mother? Because you could look at her tan line. And their response was, because it is the best. And I'm just like, okay, well, wait a minute. It says not recommended for African Americans. So
Mm.
internally, she's not going to change her DNA. She's going to be black from the inside to the outside. What is the world? And so, and even just for myself, I suffer from asthma and COPD, and being in a hospital. And I remember them coming into my hospital room, and I always ask questions, like the Queen said. And I'm like, what is this? And the lady said, oh, it's to prevent blood clots. And I'm like, what the heck do I need that for? I'm walking around. I don't need anything. You know what I'm saying? So just being mindful of what we're allowing people to put in our bodies. And okay, I'm not going conspiracy theory on you guys, but okay, we already know what's all of this stuff that's going on in the world now. Okay. I made me a list of Trump supporters. Every time I seen a sign, I made a list. Be mindful of who your doctors are, like this Queen said, or whatever, what restaurant you go to and eat. That's a lot of trust to be giving people in these times, such as this. So I
Mm.
need us to pay attention to who we're allowing to be intimate with our bodies. And so thank you so much for sharing your testimony.
That's what we were literally one of the first earlier things. I got a text, woman screaming at me, Steven, stop being sexual. I'm not being sexual. Those things are little, we were talking about intimate partner relationships, or those type of things, activities. I wasn't trying to be gross. I was very professional. So if anybody was offended, too bad. I'm not apologizing for it, because those are the real things that happen. I'm not sure if this was the right one, Silk, but one of the things was and I felt that it was a good time to post this, because the angiotensin converting enzymes, ACE inhibitors, those that give them for hypertension and blood pressure, those type of things are not very good for African Americans. So if you see this, and if you know anybody is taking this, get it off of them. Okay. In fact, snatch it out of them, throw it down the pills, and smack the piss out of them for if they sit there and try to tell and take it anyway. Well, my doctor says no, do not. Metformin is not good for everybody either. That's another one. I'm going to be nice. Okay.
No, it's
This is
not.
a
My husband has actually been off of metformin voluntarily now for a year and is doing better holistically than he waited 4 years. And his doctor is very, very mad. They was like, well, you could just take a half. Well, if you want to make pharma rich, that's fine. But metformin kills your kidneys, and it accelerates in African Americans, primarily African American men's. Benacar that they give for high blood pressure is not recommended for African Americans, but it's one of the best that's on the market. So, really, like this Queen said, do your research on medication, because, like I said, my testimony is I've had asthma since I was 3 years old. They didn't find out until many years later that the asthma medicine that they used to give, Alupen, okay, which was one of the most popular medicines that they gave to low to moderate income children back in the day,
Mhm.
because it was affordable in the lining of the lung. Okay, so I'm one of those persons that have never smoked a day in my life, and I developed COPD when I turned 25 because of the after effects of this medicine. And so,
Mhm.
again, I say to you, pay attention to things. You know, I'm a huge advocate environmentally. You always notice that all of the power lines, all of the 5D towers, all of those things pop up in our neighborhoods. They pop up there for a reason, because it's like NIMBY. Nobody else wants them in their area because they affect people grossly. Okay. And so, again, like she said, just pay attention to those things and be safe out there.
I posted another one. Monotherapy, beta blockers, monotherapies are less effective in Black people with hypertension than other racial groups. They just didn't work because of our chemical makeup. Um, Now gets really tight with that, whereas if you're identifying yourself as African American, but you are also extremely mixed with other cultures and things like that. Not saying, and I'm not sitting here hating interracial relationships, nothing like that. I'm just trying to bring out the truth in that. So those are the type of things from there. Kemonte?
Yes. I want to say that sometimes the hardest things to say are the realest things to say. And so we take things such as what we put in our body, we think that it is just something that we eat or medicine that we take, but it's everything that we do. It can deal with the relations that we have with people, the environment that we're in, and the relations could be in any capacity. And so those conversations are the conversations that are hard to hear. And then there's some people who may not believe that you should say certain things of that manner, but the truth is the truth. You know, when I was a child, my mother taught me that when you are out in public, you do not sit on everybody's toilet. You have to learn how to us as women, yours is a different culture, but you got to learn how to use them calf muscles and stand, pivot, so it's truthful in
New Yorkers unite.
I'm just saying that, it's truthful. It's truth in all of that. So you have to be very aware of everything that you do and everyone that you are with, and you have to watch their habits. You have to watch how they live their lifestyle as well. I was walking through the mall yesterday, and the lady was, she was out of breath. I could definitely tell it was cold yesterday. She didn't have a coat on, but she was, and I'm sitting here like, what in the world is going on? I mean, she wasn't right there beside me, but the fact of the matter that we're breathing the same space. So when you have been sick, and you have, when you truly have been sick, not that you have to go there to be sick, but sometimes you got to learn that lesson to get sick enough to know that you don't want to be sick anymore.
Yes.
Then you pay attention to everything, even down to who you sleep with, who you eat from, what you drink, what you eat, what you wear, the products that you use on your body, such as deodorant, lotion, toothpaste. Everything becomes a suspect. Everything you have to, with a fine tooth comb. And again, get online and do the research. I know it's tough for some people to hear because, grown up folk, older folk, like you said, the things in the household stay in the household. You don't talk about this. You don't talk. A child is seen and not heard, and you know all the everything that growing up in a Black household, what we were taught and how we were taught to be and do. But you have to have those conversations, and you have to say things. And I think you did an excellent job with painting the picture the way it needed to be painted. It could have come out a little bit even more raw. But I'm going to second that. But please be mindful of everything that you do, and to Miss Christine, I'm one of those people where I believe in the 6 degrees of separation, and so I am just a phone call away. I know what it's like to be sick. I know what it's like to have those good days and those bad days. I just want you to stay prayed up. If there's anything that you need, please make sure that you reach out, and I will see what I can be of service. And I'm just so happy that I met you. Now I got another phone. Look, I got another person to put down that I know in the Richmond Police Squad. Look, what I'm saying. Because I'm a little John Lewis. I get in good trouble. So I'm gonna have to I got to call Officer Christine, But no. I appreciate you coming on and sharing your story. Stay strong and stay focused and believe we are here for you. I speak for all of us without even asking. We are here for you.
Amen. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to tell you the look that she gives me. If I call her, I best be innocent.
That part.
And if I was calling her anyway, what the hell I was doing in the first place.
Exactly.
Well, I'm going to call her and I'm going to say, well, Christine, look, I told you I was John Lewis. I'm good friends. Okay. So how you gonna help me get out this one? Okay.
And then she's gonna sit there and call you and be like, "Was Steven with you?" that's all.
Well,
Miss Chastain, your final thoughts, ma'am.
yeah, I just enjoyed this immensely. Thank you, Kmonti, Silk, Stephen. Thank you all for the engaging conversation. And I'm just hoping that people hear, that they listen, and that they also listen to their bodies. Trust your bodies, trust yourself, advocate for yourself, definitely challenge the information that's given to you, do your own research. But more importantly, when it comes to your own health care, you don't have to take everybody else's word for it. Do your own research and find a solution for yourself, but find a solution. I know that as Black folk, we tend to give everything to God, and that's perfectly fine, but you got the power within yourself to do great things. So you make the first move and God will put his super on your natural. Y'all stay safe, be blessed, and continue to take care of yourselves and everyone around you.
Amen.
So you see that you see how she just came back. Then we giving her the praise, but she coming right back and she giving it. That's what you call twofold. That's like
that's right.
Yeah, jelly and peanut butter. That's the jelly and the peanut butter right there. Also, a couple of things, 3 things I neglected to mention through this, and I want to go hit real fast. One, water. We talk about water, cranberry juice, and things like that. At this stage of the game, wherever you at, don't drink the water out the sinks anymore unless you got some filtrations. The refrigerator, make sure you change that filtration water all the time. Your bottled water, check whichever one works best for you. With that, and boil your water and things. Be careful when you're out and about vacationing, or you're going to a hotel, you're another side of the country. Don't let that water get in your mouth. Bacteria, all these different things. Just be very careful. The second thing is it's about, Lord forgive me, I'm sorry, Mom, but about damn time people start thinking about your doggone life insurance and health insurance. Okay, let's just keep it real.
Yeah.
We don't know what good man has in store for us. Make sure that your family and the people and your loved ones and yourself is protected, preferably whole. But if you have to get term, something, okay. Leave it as a way of also leaving a legacy in your family. Let's just do that, especially for those who are in heavy city areas with problems with the water system. I think last I checked, over 47 or 67. I forgot the number, so please don't quote me. But it's cities that are still fighting water problems. Okay, there are people. We are like year 22 or something with Flint, whatever was going on in Flint, Michigan. Richmond here had some problems for a long time. We still, it took us for a long time to fix German School Road, or what was it, Bryan Park, or whatever, it flooded in the deep down part there. So it took a long time and affected people's water pipes. And if you're dealing with a septic system and well systems, definitely please be very careful. I do believe in Mother Nature, good Lord provide us, but still be very careful. And we are in this winter season. Some things to be very careful. Things, please stay warm. Drink. We talked about, drink a lot of liquids. Clear broths, chicken broth, but you might need to filter that chicken broth even. Campbell's is not Campbell's like it used to be anymore. That's sad to say. But be careful of the black teas, maybe not, some of them, just depends. But some of the African teas and things, Oolong, and those great things are very good. You may have to do a detox of things as well. Make sure you're covering your hands and feet, and some people got the gloves and jacket, but you got your whole wrist open. You'd be surprised that little bit of exposure can get you. As my mom would always say, you lose 33% of your body here. So from the top of your head, make sure you cover your head and things. We talk about diets. We talk about the safety indoors with your stress management, weight management, how you're doing. Also protect yourself, men and women. Protect yourself from infections such as with the colds, the flus, and urinary tract infections. That can, again, pay attention to what's going on in your underwear, in your urine. If it's puffy, it looks like it's boiling, suds, slides, everything. All these, pay attention and tell your doctor. Take a picture, put it in a Ziploc bag, whatever you have to do, and give it to them. I know this sounds crazy, but these are the things that they do. Even sometimes they do stool tests, just how his life is. But just please maintain good hygiene, change your underwear, make sure you are using separate washcloths for your body and your face, that type of thing. Again, be careful with your NSAIDs. If you're taking NSAID pills every day for pain or what have you, that could extremely cause problems. Anything that's over, if you need to take something with NSAIDs for over 3 to 4 days, then you need to be talking to your doctor. We talked about monitoring the thing, your conditions, chronic conditions, especially holidays and these crash eatings. Be careful. And last, avoid the crash diets. I do believe we may have to do some more detoxing in our community, but be careful. These crash diets, and you're not doing too much as we go into these, again, New Year resolutions, and the gym memberships go on fleek high and all this other stuff. So just be careful. Hopefully I made my mom proud for all the reading of the medical books and things I've done over the years and research, but we go from there. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to reach out to us. You can email us at enliven, ENLIVEN, GM at gmail.com. Again, that's enlivengm at gmail.com. Also, feel free to post comments after the show. We do read them. We do come back the following week as such to address them as well when needed. If anybody is still shopping for home or personal items or whatever it may be, we also have a small affiliation with Amazon that we get credit for, full disclosure, but also you get help discount. If you click the link tinyc.cc/MRLP Amazon, opens up the link in your phone, or every time you go, you have to click that link, but it will open up and you'll see more of the green check boxes and other things, and especially anything that you may need for your health, wellness, and family. Those are very important as well. And also, we do take donations and stuff. We are always in great need. It takes a lot to keep this going. We do accept Cash App, $IMMRLP, and also Venmo is the same. The @ IMAMMRLP, and we also do Zelle and PayPal as well. So we have no problems. And if you have any problems, please let us know. I thank you very kindly. May you have a great, ladies, stay with me for a moment, but everybody else, thank you so very kindly, and may you have a great and blessed day. Bye-bye.